Hi, we are Group 2 presenting to you the strategy for Sun Pharmaceutical. Beginning its operation in Kolkata with a 2-person marketing team, 5 psychiatry products and a condensed manufacturing facility at Vapi, Gujarat for capsule and tablet in 1983, Sun Pharma is one of the pioneer pharmaceuticals in India who saw the benefits and value in research and development and invested greatly in this segment, giving them the first mover advantage in developing robust products catering for the various markets across the world. Today, Sun Pharma is India's biggest drug maker and 5th largest specialty generic pharmaceutical company worldwide. It has a total of 10 research centers in both India and other parts of the world like Canada, USA, Iran, 44 manufacturing sites, and more than 32,000 employees producing more than 2,000 marketed products, serving more than 100 markets globally. As of 2018, the company generated a total of $4.04 billion. The core strength of Sun Pharma lies in their ability of producing generic and technological complex products with top-graded quality at a low cost. Looking at some of the company financial highlights, from the company consolidated profit and loss statement, we had forecasted the figure till 31st March 2019 so to have a better comparison with 2018. So we noted a huge decrease in profit from 2,095 crores to 650 crores. This decrease can be explained from the comparison of revenue by geographic from year 2018 versus year 2017. From this table, we notice that the only decrease in revenue of 36% amounting to 50,200 crores is the US market. Even though the remaining markets have an increase from range of 4% to 6%, amounting to an approximately 8,000 crores during the year, it is still much lesser compared to the company loss from the US market.
Let's take a closer look into Sun Pharma operation by looking at its SWOT analysis. For strength, as the biggest pharma company in India and the 5th largest generic drug manufacturer in the world, Sun Pharma has a robust and diverse product portfolio. As a company, Sun Pharma is greatly committed towards its corporate social responsibility in India. To name a few of its CSR efforts, initiatives such as Sun Pharma Community Healthcare Society and Sun Pharma Science Foundation has benefited the community since its implementation. As a pharma company, Sun Pharma has greatly invested into its R&D efforts. In 2018, 8.6% of Sun Pharma total revenue was invested into its R&D department. Moving on to Sun Pharma weaknesses, there is a significant portion of sales derived from its market in the United States. 34% of its 2018 total revenue comes from the United States. In the recent years, financial figures such as EBITDA, return on equity, and market cap are also declining. In India's pharmaceutical scene, there are several opportunities. Due to the good economic growth and higher disposable incomes for the population in India, it has led to an increase in healthcare awareness. With higher standards of living, there are also higher incidents of chronic illnesses. Moreover, the Indian government has also expressed its interest to focus on the healthcare industry and to enhance penetration of modern medicine into all parts of society. Lastly, for threats, majority of India's pharmaceutical company exports outside of the country, mainly to the United States and Asia. Foreign fluctuations may affect export prices significantly. For pharma companies involved in the manufacturing of branded drugs, the expiration of patents after a typical lifespan of 20 years will also result in generic pharma companies to get access to the active ingredient list and therefore produce cheaper versions of these drugs. Generally, a significant portion of Sun Pharma total revenue is derived from the United States market. Approximately 34% of the revenue was contributed by the US markets in 2018. This might lead to over-dependence on the US market to boost sales revenue. According to the 2018 Sun Pharma annual report, it was mentioned that the decline in the US markets has been attributed as the main cause of the decline in revenues and profit figure for Sun Pharma as a whole. Moreover, the increasingly competitive pharma scene in the United States, coupled with the new entrant, has impacted the company's financial performance negatively in 2018. United States FDA has become more stringent with their standards and regulation, which has also led to several delays in obtaining approval for the new drugs for Sun Pharma.
We have discovered from our research that there's a decline in market share for Indian pharma companies in developed countries like the United States. This is due to reasons like expired medicine patents lowering the price of medicine and the developed countries outsourcing their R&D and production to countries like India. Hence, we felt that it is necessary to venture into new markets so that Sun Pharma will not be trapped in a contractor loop. We suggest looking into agrochemical development as agriculture is the largest source of GDP for India. However, we realize that there is a trend of decreasing arable land and the lack of use of agrochemicals, which holds the industry back from producing more. Hence, with the chemical advantage of Sun Pharma, we've decided to acquire one of the leading agritech companies, Crop-In, to venture into this market. Crop-In makes use of big data to identify problems faced by farmers in India and tailoring farming solutions for them. So this acquisition will equip Sun Pharma with the data that we need to identify the problems faced by farmers, and with that we would like to integrate the use of agrochemicals into the application to advocate precision farming. This will largely reduce the unknown variables in farming and increase the yield for Indian farmers. To encourage the take-up rate, we would like to introduce a free trial of cropping services before the months of the monsoon season because that's the most important period of the year for Indian farmers and to get the farmers to get used to farming with ease. So with an year-long cycle to monitor the progress of the crop's productivity, this will allow Sun Pharma to gather more data with a larger sample size and continue with the R&D work for new products.
Our second strategy consists of Sun Pharma being resorting to leveraging on e-commerce for its sales of generics and OTC drugs for its India market, creating another revenue stream. This will consist of setting up an online pharmacy network with offline pharmacies enrolled to sell medicines on the online platform. Pharmacies involved in distribution have to pass through stringent government checks and regulations to ensure that the medicine available online are procured from authorized distributors certifying the authenticity of the product. By accessing the online pharmacy platform, doctors are able to enter their prescriptions, and patients who have the ability to upload their prescriptions, periodic vitals, and get ordered medicines delivered to their designated address. The online platform should also enable consumers to digitize prescriptions by clicking on an image and uploading it, where the feature would raise consumers' awareness regarding health conditions as well as medical implications should an alternative is taken. The online platform is to be supported by a robust backend network where it's armed with a reminder mechanism for its suppliers on the availability of medicines in the backend so as to ensure that medicine supplies will not face shortages. And with the digitalization of prescriptions, users are not only able to rely on efficient home delivery services but also seek substitutes for like unavailable medication and consult the online pharmacists. By conducting thorough checks for every prescription uploaded, getting information about incompatibilities and adverse effects on the available alternatives make the process even more convenient. Some pharma could also be using QR codes for accurate labeling and tracking of medicine to deliver more specific product information and a more involved consumer experience. With QR codes digital tracking components built into the pharmaceutical packaging, the original source, intended usage, and dosing information are being incorporated onto the labels of OTC and prescription medicines. It is, however, to note that the recent Madras HC ban has posed challenges to online platforms in this regard, where a petition was raised by the Tamil Nadu Chemists and Druggists Association seeking ban on the websites permitting online sale of medications. Despite the ambiguity and challenges posed by the petition, it's apparent that retail e-commerce has grown 31% during 2018 as compared to the prior year, hence indicating that online pharmacy platforms are viable to Sun Pharma. Additional indicators would include the emerging trend of MNCs such as Amazon and delivery platforms like Swiggy are in exploratory talks with regards to acquisition and partnership in online pharma players. In conclusion, with the strategies to be contract suppliers of developed countries as well as integrating with the sales process to online platforms, portability and precision is emphasized with the ease of implementation on future plans. Thank you.